passing by a long and lonely road. Oh, how I love the night. Time goes by, I feel so heavy. 2 times, way too many, and I'll go again. Baby, I'll go again. My mind's about to blow. It's taking all control. This ride goes on and on. And on and on and on. I can't keep holding on forever. On and on forever. You know I like.
What's up, guys? I am back again 2 days in a row, if you can believe it. I am here kind of on a whim because I was just doing some work around the house and I got a notification that the Hoover, Alabama police has issued a statement in the Carlee Russell case. Now, I wanted to actually go live and stream the statement live, but I wasn't able to do that. I just didn't have time to prepare the stream for you guys. So I decided I was going to come on here. I was going to replay it for everybody who hasn't seen the full press conference or statement from the Hoover, Alabama police. And we were going to kind of react to it together. Now, I did actually already watch it, so I already have my thoughts prepared. But a couple interesting things. They are going to play the full 911 call that Carlee Russell made initially to the Hoover, Alabama police when she reported that she had spotted a toddler on the side of the freeway. So we're going to finally get to hear that. We're also going to get to hear or figure out after we hear that why we didn't hear it to begin with, because that was a huge question that everybody had. They were like, why have we heard all these other pieces of evidence, but they have not released the 911 call that she made to the police reporting that she saw a toddler, right? You would think that would be a very crucial piece of information instead of allowing the public to kind of just spin this out of control like it has. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead here and we're going to play the video live so you guys can watch it with me. And then we are going to talk about it because I want to know y'all's thoughts. If you guys have not seen this statement yet, I know that there's already tons of posts online, but you're only going to see clips online. I'm here to show you the full statement, the full 911 call. And I just want to know what you guys think about this. So drop in the comments if you're watching this video. If you have already seen this, if you have thoughts, just reserve them until we're done with this video. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so that, yes, Wendy, I agree. This whole story is crazy bananas. And just give me, I know there's only a couple of you guys in here. It's during the day. Just give me a heads up if you guys can hear me okay. Because I just want to make sure that my audio is good. Yesterday when I was testing this, my audio was a little spotty. Okay. All right, guys, here we are. So this is the official statement on the Carlee Russell case given by the Hoover. Where's my mouse at? Given by the Hoover, Alabama Police Department. Here we go. Just to FYI, there is a part in this press conference where they lose a little bit of the feed. So I'm going to kind of forward past the blank portion of this video. And welcome, Amy. Cool. Audio is good. So I'm going to forward past that portion when we get to it. So don't be alarmed. Here we go.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Frank and Pam Bearfield Training Center. I'm Captain Keith Sescaleba, that's spelled Keithczeskleba, with the Hoover Police Department. Joining me at the podium today will be Hoover Mayor Frank Brocato, spelled Brocato, and Hoover Police Chief Nick Derzis, spelled Derzis. You may also hear from Lieutenant Daniel Lowe, spelled Lowe, of the Hoover Police Investigations Division. Mayor Brocato will make a brief opening statement, and then Chief Derzis will read a prepared statement. After Chief's statement is complete, there will be an opportunity to ask a few questions regarding this investigation. Keep in mind that this is still an ongoing investigation, so there may be some questions that we cannot answer. With that, I will turn it over to Mayor Brocato. Thank you and good afternoon for you all coming today. You know, 6 days ago, our community learned about the disappearance of Carlee Russell, and it sent fear and pandemonium not just through our city, but the entire state and the nation as well. The media quickly joined us to get the word out about Carlee. Our community sprung into action and they organized search parties, arranged prayer vigils, and they took other steps that I'm not even aware of to help in this situation. The Hoover Police Department quickly rallied multiple partner agencies, stopping at nothing to find Carlee. I'd like to take this time to say thank you first to the Hoover Police Department, our partner agencies, our wonderful community, and to all those that aided in some way in connection with this situation. As the days have gone on and more information has been shared, we know everyone has questions. The Hoover Police Department is known for being very methodical and thorough with their investigations. For that reason, we did not feel comfortable speaking in detail publicly until now. It is important that we share this information now so that our community can be put at ease. So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Dursis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case.
Okay, so this is where it kind of blinks out. A lot of agencies involved in this one, folks. There we go.
Carlee left work from a business at the summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure.
Okay, so I just want to pause it here because I want to explain what was said here because it kind of cut out. So he's detailing the surveillance video that they pulled from her place of employment, which is like a wellness day spa type of thing. So he's stating that on the surveillance cameras of the inside of the spa where she works, they saw that she took a robe. I think he said some toilet paper and something else. Okay. I forget what it was that he said. Anyways, that is very, very important, right? So I want you guys to take a mental note here of what they're saying as we continue to listen because it is wild.
She ordered food from Taziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Here we go. This is the 911 call that Carlee made when she spotted, or she stated that she spotted a toddler on the side of the road. And guys, I cannot do anything about this, the volume of this. This is just the volume that it was at in the room that they're playing this. So I apologize if the volume is low. I'll try to get it up a little bit.
Okay, so you're before that exit? Yes. Okay, were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay, and was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound? How old do they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them or are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keep an eye on us when we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay, so is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best that you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and do they have shoes on? No. Shoes? Not that I can see. I can't really see that one. Okay. All right, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them. Officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Okay, so real quick before we move on from that. So that was the 911 call, if you're just joining, that Carlee Russell made to the Hoover, Alabama Police Department, stating that she saw a toddler on the side of the road. Now, I'm a mother of 2 kids, okay? And I know I say a lot, but I will tell you, when somebody is not being truthful, and this comes from years of experience as a parent, they say a lot, and they have that little elevation in their voice. There I say that's my problem. I'm not lying to you guys because I'm just talking, but I'm just thinking, for those of you guys that saw the footage over the road where Carlee pulled over, and we saw her pull over, I'm just thinking in my head, this 911 operator, she's got to be familiar with the area. She knows how dark it is probably on this highway. I just feel like listening to this, Carlee was giving a lot of detail for it being so late at night and so dark on that road. You know what I mean? I'm just assuming that that's what the 911 operator was thinking. But you know, what do I know? I don't know. This sounded sus from the beginning without this 911 call. So it's very interesting now to hear it. So let's continue, because there's more. There's so much more. There's so much more. Just keep watching.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards.
I'm gonna
is sick.
I'm gonna rewind that. Hold on. I'm gonna
Footage
rewind
was
that.
obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame.
Pay attention.
Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app,
Listen here.
shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child.
Okay, so understand what he said right there. From the Life 360 app on her phone, they determined from the time that she called 911 that she traveled 600 yards in her car following the child. So that means that the child walked 600 yards. He's about to tell you how far 600 yards actually is.
600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards.
6 football fields. So you're going to hear more, but let's just pretend it stopped there and that's all the evidence they had. You're telling me this child walked 6 football fields at night. I mean, a toddler. If you're a parent, you can't even get a toddler, take them to Disneyland and get them to walk 600 yards, let alone supposedly barefoot in a diaper in the middle of the night on the side of the freeway in some bush. That right there will tell you where we're headed with this. Anyways, let's keep going.
The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene.
Okay, so let me just recap. Number 1, she snatched her own wig. Number 2, the Apple Watch that you see her wearing in almost every single photo that we have seen of Carlee, for some reason, she took it off and put it in her purse. Her cell phone and something else that she had on was laying her wig was laying in the bush or in the brush around the area. The food that she was ordering for her and her mother, supposedly from Tzatziki's, was sitting in the car. But out of all the things that she left behind, wig included, Apple Watch included, wallet included, cell phone included, she made sure to take those snacks that she bought from Target, the Cheez-Its and the granola bar. Now, I can't remember if he talks about the items from the spa that she took, because remember, she took some toilet paper and a robe and something else, if those weren't with her, but let's keep listening.
Hoover Police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover Police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released.
Okay, so I want to address that comment. So they said, obviously, I think they probably picked up from surveillance cameras on the street and probably ring cameras in the area that they did see her walking in the area by her house. Okay, so now that tells us that those reports of the Red Roof Inn or something like that that we were talking about last night, those that's not mentioned here in this video and not really addressed at all. So that just tells me that people that were posting that online were probably making that up. So that's important to note because, we all look online for stuff and that is how easily we can be deceived in a lot of ways.
During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car. And the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler.
Somewhere in there, he allowed her to go back into the car and grab her Cheez-Its and her granola bar. Just wanted to note that.
She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else.
I don't know about you, but I instantly thought about The Hills Have Eyes. That's what I was envisioning in my head was The Hills Have Eyes people, especially when she said that the woman was playing with her hair. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I don't mean to keep stopping it, y'all, but I want to make sure that I don't get tagged for any type of copyright and streaming this video. So I got to stop it every now and then to talk about it. But interesting that after she was blindfolded, she was able to tell that she went into a house, that they possibly took pictures. She was able to give quite a bit of detail after being blindfolded.
At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "You have to pay for an Amber Alert," was searched.
Okay, so now they're talking about what she searched prior to her disappearance on her computer. So she searched for the term, "What you have to pay for an Amber Alert." I'm guessing she wanted to know how much it was going to cost her family to do an Amber Alert. I didn't even know an Amber Alert cost money, but now we're learning stuff. But wait till you hear the rest.
On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted.
That did me in right there. We're gonna talk about this, guys. It's almost done. We're gonna talk about it. I'm like salivating at the mouth here.
There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered.
Okay, so basically now the family and Carlee are, I mean, in a sense, not cooperating with police. Okay, so if in fact she's still sticking to this I was abducted story, there was a child missing story, they are now not really being cooperative with the police.
Only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is the end, and he's going to answer some questions. Let me know if you guys want to play or want me to play the questions. There's probably about 10 minutes of questions, or if you want me to just go straight into talking about it. I don't, from what I can remember, if the questions have anything like major or some of the answers that he gave in there have anything major. But here's what. Okay, here's what I think. So last night when me and Suni were talking about this on the show, you know, I asked Suni, I said, do you still believe her story of abduction? You know, where do you stand on this? And, you know, she said, I don't believe the story of abduction, but she says, I definitely think she had a mental break, right? I said, obviously, mentally, she's not well. That's obvious. She's mentally, from what we were seeing at that point, not well. But for me, I am just at a point where I feel like we use mental health so loosely now. And I said this last night, I'm going to reinforce it again, is it's almost like saying mental health or somebody, you know, dealt with a mental break is kind of like the buzzword, you know, that you can say that it's like, okay, guys, all bets are off. Now we can't really talk about this because you mentioned mental break, right? It's kind of like when you're talking about race stuff and you say the word Holocaust, you know, once you say that word, it's like you can't talk about anything anymore. You know, everybody's gonna get their feelings hurt. Mental issues is like sliding into that same category now. Okay, it is entirely possible for someone not to be like clinically insane and still be deceiving and evil and have bad intentions, but not register as crazy. I mean, yeah, it's crazy to do that type of stuff for attention. I mean, we still don't even know, you know, with all this we know now, I mean, how are you going to explain researching the things that you researched on your computer? How are you going to explain stealing money, a robe, and some toilet paper from your work? How are you going to explain the fact that nobody reported a child missing? How are you going to explain the fact that there's no evidence that you were even taken anywhere? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, in my opinion. And, you know, the fact that this girl would go to these lengths to basically seek attention, okay? She's doing this to seek attention. Birdman said, this smells like Jussie, you know, Smollett, you know, when he faked the hate crime that he said he experienced, you know, in negative 14-degree weather in the streets of Chicago at 2 a.m., that he got, you know, bleach poured on him by 2 guys wearing a MAGA hat, you know, a noose put around his neck. Come to find out, none of that happened. The 2 guys came out and said, he paid us. Here, we'll reenact to you how we did it. But when it's a woman, I don't know what it is. and Jesse was gay, so I guess this qualifies in the same category. But when it's a woman, and when we put these pictures up of this sweet girl who's a nurse and she's this and she's that, forget about her color, forget about all that. Why do we let our emotions take us down this road every single time? They put the mother up, the mother's crying. They put her pictures up. She looks like an angel. And then we just jump to conclusions. And it's so convenient to me that, her story involved a baby on the side of the road, because, we just now are, kind of getting, bombarded, rightly so, with all the human trafficking stuff, with the Sound of Freedom, and protecting our children and this, that. So, mentioning a baby was like the ultimate trigger, right? For all of us, because we were like, oh my gosh, what if somebody was using this child to lure this poor woman in so that they could abduct her as well? And I was right there with you guys. I was believing this the whole time. I was like, this is terrible. Like, I really believed it, because that really is a tactic of abductors, is they do this in Mexico. I know they do this in LA County as well, is they use children to lure people in as bait, right? So it wasn't that far-fetched, but then my mind changed when I saw the surveillance video of the car on the side of the road. And now we're finding out that was a very small portion of that video, because as he stated in here, she drove from the point that she got on the call with 911, she drove 600 yards, which is 6 football fields. 600 yards. So was she driving on the freeway? They didn't detail how fast she was driving, so we don't know if she was driving those 600 yards on the side, or was she on the main road and she was making this phone call. But you hear her in the phone call saying, yeah, I mean, the baby was wearing like a diaper and I think a shirt, and I could see that they were barefoot, and I could see a lot of detail for somebody driving at night. So now that we have that piece, I'm completely sold that this is a hoax. I mean, of course I want to hear everything. I want to hear all the details, but I really don't need much more to tell me that this girl lied. So now what I don't know is, were the parents involved in any way in the lie? It doesn't seem right now like there's no evidence to me that tells me that they knew that she was going to do this. I don't know for the life of me why parents would be involved, but I do want to remind y'all of the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case, that Brian Laundrie's parents were more than willing to be complicit in what was going on there, as far as trying to help their son get further and further away and avoid, being caught by the police, right? And there's not enough evidence to show that they knew where he killed Gabby or how he killed Gabby or anything like that. But it's clear they did what they thought they should do as parents and protected their son. So is it really that far-fetched to think that maybe Carlee had some type of breakdown or prior mental health issues, and her parents knew about this type of stuff? And so, they kind of went along with the story, and now they're still continuing to go along with the story, because they just did an interview yesterday, still standing firm on the fact that she was abducted. They had to have heard. I mean, to me, it sounds like the Hoover Police Department has to have told them, listen, she took stuff from her job. She did internet searches on Amber Alerts and the movie Taken, and I don't know what else. I forget what else she researched, but it's all very sus, if you ask me, guys. And I think this is an open and shut case of, we were had once again. And the media and TikTok and all this other stuff is all part of that. We were had once again by our emotions. So that's pretty much all I have. Obviously, I'm sure by the time Suni and I have Friday's show, we'll have more to say about this. But they do ask in the and I'll play before we end the show. I'll play the questions, but they do ask if there's going to be. I think they do ask if there's going to be any repercussions for her if it is found out that she did fabricate this entire thing. I think there absolutely should be. See, this is the problem, is that we're more than willing to quickly condemn men and hand out punishments to men when a woman points the finger at a man, right, for like sexual assault or rape and things like that. Just points the finger, has no evidence to the contrary. We're more than willing to hang them by their toenails. And when it comes out that the woman was lying, it just gets swept under the rug. But until we have serious consequences for things like this, people are going to continue to do it because we live in a world where people are thirsty for attention. They know how quickly they can gain followers. They know how quickly they can get their faces out there, right? So it's crazy to me that people are willing to go to these lengths for attention. So I'm going to continue to play. If there's anything that we want to stop and talk about, let me know. I'm going to continue to play the questions that the mayor receives. By the way, shout out to the mayor, honey, for being a real snazzy dresser. I am all the way with this purple tie, purple jacket combo. And then his glasses had like a purple light. I'm with it. Just had to put that in there because I was like, okay, mayor, do your thing. All right, let's keep watching.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse spa?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
One more question. Is it surprising to you that the family has not been cooperative in returning to be questioned?
Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
Go ahead, sir.
Of her, so see, they're using her mental state as an excuse not to talk to the police. That's what basically. So are there going to be any charges pressed? He's like, we haven't even discussed that yet. We're trying to get through possibly getting more information from her. They're giving her the opportunity to explain herself. But she is claiming that she's too mentally distraught to talk to the police. I'm sure she is. She probably didn't realize it was going to get to this level. So.
Yeah, question for Chief. You stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female? Black female? White female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Is this alleged abductor yet on loose in the Hoover area?
Don't believe so.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief, for the WBRC, has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
Lisa.
There's been a concern in the community that if this turned out not to be a true story, that the next time a young woman of color was missing, that it might not be taken seriously.
See, why they got to do that? Did you hear her question? She said there was reports that if this is like, obviously, if this turns out to be a hoax, that next time a woman of color goes missing, it may not receive the attention. Why do they have to do that? Okay. Why? This story, when it first came out, was all over the internet. I don't know who made up this lie that because she's black, we're not talking about it. We don't care. Didn't you hear the man say that they mobilized immediately with searchline parties? That's like when they like basically they like walk a bunch of people together very close in a line to scour every inch of the area for evidence. What else do you want? Like, what is the proof that it wasn't taken seriously because she was black? See, whoever asked this question, I would have turned around and shot her. I would have shot her the dirtiest look, because I would be like, you are part of the problem. The fact that she's black doesn't matter. It does not matter. This is a person with bad character. Point blank, period. Okay? Because you can't blame the fact that she's Black. You can't blame the fact that she's even, from a bad neighborhood. If you guys saw her house, she lives in a very nice house in a very nice neighborhood. Her parents look very well to do. Okay? They look like professional people, middle income. I didn't even pay attention to any of that, honestly. But now that it's being brought up, I have to point those things out because, yes, it always has to fit a racial narrative. It always has to fit a racial narrative. Stop it. Somebody in that room better have shot that woman a dirty look. I'm just saying.
I'd respond to say that we investigate every crime to the fullest, just like we have this one.
Was she traveling with anyone since, was she traveling with anyone since the time she disappeared, to your knowledge?
And not to my knowledge.
Chief, I know you said you weren't able to verify a lot of aspects of the story. Where do you think she went, and how would you characterize what happened here?
That's the $100 question. We pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until she got on the 911 call, and we can see getting out of the car on the interstate from that footage. And after that, I think she only knows. We don't know.
Well, one quick follow-up. Her parents. Did you speak with Carlee's parents, and why do you think it is they were so adamant that there wasn't a doctor?
Yeah, I think parents are believing what their daughter's saying, and we've had a very good rapport with the parents, met with them on several occasions. I've talked to them today a few times, and to make them understand that we're under pressure from our community, not only in our community of the state, but nationally when the story hit. And I just wanted them to understand that today we were going to have a press conference, and what we were going to detail today are facts. And everything that I've told you today is actual facts. It's not innuendos. It's not what I think. It's not what these detectives think. It is the factual information that we have. Well, I think our detectives have talked to the parents, and we're ready. We're ready to talk as soon as she's ready. So, she called right now. We're ready.
One word to describe what went on. What would that be?
How about unknown? We know the facts that we have. Everything else is unknown at this time.
In the back. What have the past few days been like for you, your department? This has been a stressful search, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. And again, the focus of the investigation that Thursday when she went missing, of course, the focus was to get Carlee home. That's what we want all. We wanted her safe and sound. And that's all happened. And then, of course, this has gotten to be not only a local state story, but a national story. So, it is. It's a lot of stress on everyone in the Hoover Police Department, and the mayor, to every citizen here. We want to know the truth.
As you stand here, are you frustrated?
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm very happy that Carlee's home. That was the main ingredient here, and then we'll figure it out. I promise you that we'll end up figuring it out.
Any idea about the number of manpower hours or the expense of the drones and all the rest of the search that might cost the city and the state and the federal government?
Yeah, we haven't had time to consider that, but it's again, these detectives that are here. This is just a small group of people that have been associated with this case. We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Chief, is there any prior indication of mental health problems?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can you just expand on the people from the state, federal resources brought in? What were they doing exactly as you all were searching for her? Just expand on that.
Sure. A lot of the from the FBI side, several agents helping us interview. I mean, as you well know, in a case like this, especially when it goes national, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls. And when you get those calls, some of them may just be outlandish, but you've got to follow up on them because you never know that you may get that one tidbit. And I'd also say too that we had a great cooperation with the family. The family received hundreds and hundreds of tips, and every time they got a tip, they sent it to us. No, we have not determined that. No.
Keith Mann, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Question for Chief. With all of the searches that you mentioned, Chief, that were on Carlee's phone, does that kind of give you an indication of her mind state during this ordeal, 48 hours?
Yeah.
that she went missing?
Well, again, we want to talk in facts, and I do think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very very strange. Yes.
Do you feel confident, do your investigators feel confident that you know why Carlee Russell may have done this?
No, we do not know. Absolutely not.
Chief, can you explain for us, you mentioned that while at least said Carlee was on the front of 911, she was traveling 6 football fields, which tells you what?
Which tells me that I've had kids, and I'm sure a lot of people here have, and it's very, very, again, she said it, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen because I've always been one of these guys, never say never, but 6 football fields. I like athletics, I like football. 6 football fields. To think that a toddler, barefoot, that could be 3 or 4 years old, is going to travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, without any just moving down. It's just very hard for me to understand.
Chief, have you used any technology to enhance that video from 459? And did you see a man grab her?
We did not see, from what we can tell, we don't see anybody on the interstate other than her car and then someone getting out of her driver's side. We have sent that off to the FBI for enhancement. It has not been returned.
Do you think in this case that charges will be forthcoming towards Carlee Russell? And how serious of a crime is it to not only fabricate a 911 call, but to lie to law enforcement during an investigation?
Well, again, that's not something that we've been discussed since we're going through the still investigation. But people have to understand that when someone says something like this, we put every available resource. Everybody comes together from, like I say, state, local, federal. It's just a lot of work, and gentlemen.
I'm going to pause it here for a second because I really feel for the Alabama Hoover State Police, the mayor, because I guarantee you the stress that they're under is going to be from the public, because we all know that you get held in the court gets held in the public, right? The judgment gets passed by the public. And regardless of how terrible, if in fact this was a whole hoax, right? Regardless of how terrible it is, regardless of the fact that I personally think they should throw her in jail and they should fine her for all the money, time, and resources that she cost the city. I think they should throw the book at her. Something in me tells me I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't know why, but I think she's going to get away with very to little repercussions. You guys let me know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree with me or if you think they are going to throw the book at her. I think these cities that are having to deal, I mean, every single city in the world is having to deal. It doesn't matter what city you're in. They're all having to deal with this. I think every city struggles with this right now because you have to just really think, okay, is it worth people protesting and destroying stores and, and all the ruckus that comes with actually holding people accountable and speaking the truth? I think that they weigh that and they go, is it worth it? And that's sad. That's sad.
And early said frustrated. I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Did anyone see her calling in from the side of the road when she made that 911 call?
No, not to my knowledge.
All right,
So
last
is
question here.
Is this investigation held up until you can speak once again, Carlee Russell?
Well, there's a few things that we're still doing, but obviously we want to talk to Carlee as soon as we can and do an in-depth interview. And at that time, I think we'll have these investigators doing some other things. So
All right, that's all the questions we're going to answer today. We appreciate you guys coming. And we'll be fine.
All right, guys. So that was the end of the press conference. One last thing I want to mention here. So you guys know I love to watch a good trial. You guys know I'd love to watch a good trial. And you best believe if this goes to trial at all, I will be there for every single second of it to watch it. But I watched intently the Alex Murdaugh murder trial of the murder of his wife and his son. And one of the things that was fascinating to me is that they used the OnStar in his vehicle, his cell phone, I think other electronic devices, to really triangulate his whereabouts at the time, right? Also the 911 call and things like that. So they were able to kind of say, okay, when he made this 911 call, where was he actually at? When did his car stop? How fast it was going? All this stuff, right? And what made me want to mention this is because Jacqueline mentioned in the comments, she didn't research enough, right? And I agree with that 100% because she thought, and again, this is just speculation on my part with the information that we now have. She thought that she was being smart by leaving her car on foot, leaving her Apple Watch, leaving her phone, even leaving her wig, right? Because then she thought, well, there's nothing to track me. There's nothing to tell people where I'm at. But she didn't think about the fact that, she didn't think about the fact that they were going to be able to pull up how far her vehicle traveled. She is obviously was driving a Mercedes sedan. So I'm assuming that car, I don't know what year that car was, but it's probably equipped with something in the electronic system of the car to be able to tell them that information. She didn't think about that. Okay. She didn't think about the fact that conducting internet searches, whether it would be on her phone, whether it would be at work, that could be pulled up and used against the timeline of her call and the timeline of her incident. She didn't think that the cameras in her place of employment, that the cameras at the Target, that the receipt that has a timestamp from the Target, also the receipt from Taziki's, the place where she stopped to get dinner for her and her mom, that has a timestamp on it. Everything is time-stamped, people. Okay. So if we learn anything from this situation and from the Alex Murdaugh situation, if you are going to commit a crime, you can't. Okay. Because there's a camera at every corner. Everything has a timestamp. Every place now has cameras, and more than ever, cameras more than ever. Okay. Your cars, you want to drive these fancy cars, those have timestamp. And for those of you guys that want to drive Teslas, y'all ain't going to be able to do nothing. That Tesla is listening to you on the inside, watching you on the outside. That thing has a mind of its own. Okay. You got, if you're into all this technology, if your house has smart devices all over the place, you better forget about committing a crime and getting away with it, because it's not going to happen. If there's one good thing that has come out of all this technology, it's the fact that they are now using it to convict people of crimes, and or not just to convict them of crimes, but even to prove their innocence in some cases, right? Yeah, she must not watch any crime shows. Hey, don't watch crime shows. Watch the court trials. Okay. I know you guys don't have the time to sit and watch this stuff. Find the time. They are fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little commentary on the Carlee Russell update. If you're just now popping in, because I saw that some people just joined, or maybe there was people that were in here earlier that came back, go back and listen to it. It's going to be up on my channel. I played the entire press conference. The 911 call is there so you guys can hear it from Carlee Russell to the police station reporting the toddler. In my mind, guys, it's an open and shut case. It's a shame that this would have to go to trial for them to determine it, but I get it. It may have to. Who knows? I pray for this girl. I'm glad she's home safe. I pray for her that she sees what she has done, the hurt that she has caused, the worry that she may have caused in her parents. I don't wish her any ill will, other than the fact that I think she needs to be held accountable for what she's done financially. And I think that under the law, she needs to be held accountable for what she's done. I know that the public thinks, well, we need answers. We need to know why you did this. I would like to know. Do we need to know? That's not so important to me, as much as I would rather have her be held accountable. So that's all I have for you guys. If something else exciting happens, I will go live again. But other than that, I will probably do a daytime show on Friday, and then I will do the regular Somewhere in the Middle show on Friday night. So thank you guys so much for hanging in here during this live, and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you later this week. We have an interview on Somewhere in the Middle, so tune in for that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys. Happy Thursday. Wednesday? What day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. All right, guys. Bye.
I feel you passing by. The midnight sadness grows. I love your lies. I see you passing by along a lonely road. Oh, how I love the night. Time goes by, I feel so heavy. 2 times, way too many, and I'll go again. Baby, I'll go again. My mind's about to blow. It's taking all control. This ride goes on and on. And on and on and on. I can't keep holding on forever.